Alright, morning everyone. Back in the shed. So yes, I was going to make a video. I did say I was going to make a video, but I didn't end up making a video about it. It's only 15 degrees. We've been having some really cool mornings lately, so it's been a nice change. And nights as well. As soon as the sun goes down, cools off really good. So yeah, but we still have some hot days, but at least it takes a lot longer to get to the high, and then it drops off real quick as well. So it's not like a sustained 35. It's yeah, it doesn't get to 35 till after lunch, and then it's only there for a couple of hours, and then boom, comes straight back down. So yeah, summer's almost over, thank God. So we gave the I-20 a massive birthday yesterday. We did, my missus ended up helping me, so that was one of the reasons I didn't make a video, because she didn't want to be on the video. Started at 9, finished at 2, took most of the day. We did oil filter, gearbox oil, drain and put new stuff in, coolant drain, new stuff in, and brake fluid drain and new stuff in. So I got to use all my new tools, which worked out really well. So this I don't know what it's called. It's just a one-man brake bleeder with the pump. This thing here, you put your new brake fluid in, pump it up, and then you have a assortment of caps that flick to your master cylinder. So it's a bit more of an outlay than the one that I used to have that actually used the compressor to you connect. Hang on. I've been going through everything and throwing a heap of stuff out. So yeah, there's an assortment of caps with a quick connect that connects to the pump, and these fit. There's probably about 15 different types in there. Fit every car in the world, pretty much. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that worked well, and much better. So that system, it was about $40 for the pump, and about $80 for the caps, I think it was. But 10 times better than that thing that you connect to the bleed nipple and your compressor and try and suck it through. That thing just took forever or didn't work. This thing, I did the whole car in probably 10 minutes and did a full flush on it. The only improvement I'll probably make to it is change the line. This stuff, the main line that goes, oh no, not that one. So that's in the engine bay. And then, where is it? I think it's in there. It is in there. It's right at the back. There's a bottle at the back there. So that's your bottle that you collect your old brake fluid in. It's exactly this line though. You can kind of see through it, but it's a little bit translucent. I want to get a clear line for it. Make more sense, I think, because then you can kind of see what's going on. Unless the only... so I had the situation that the brake fluid that was in there was yellow, and it was kind of this yellow, like this, when it was new. And then it's a blacky yellow, like a, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, like a straw yellow, very dark straw yellow. I'm trying to find something, like even darker than that. Even darker than that there. Like imagine if that was dirty, that's the colour of the fluid that came out of it. Now my new fluid was blue, so you could quite easily see, but kind of when it mixed together, it went green, because yellow and blue make green, I think. So it was a little bit hard, but when the new stuff really came through, it was like an electric blue like that. So you could kind of see it. But next time, if I go and get this same brake fluid that's blue, I'm going to have a hard time noticing from a dirty blue colour to a new blue colour. I think it's going to look different. So it won't look too different through that pipe. So I think I do need to get some clear pipe for that. So that's on the cards next to improve that. But otherwise, that went really well. I also showed it in one of my previous videos, some oil filter caps that go on the back of an oil filter, so you can tighten them up, connects to your wrench and to your torque wrench. So that way you can torque the oil filter properly to what it's meant to be. So all good. I couldn't really find a torque spec for the I-20, but my Nissan Z has a torque spec for the oil filter and drain plug. So perfect, works well. What else do we do? Coolant, no dramas. It's actually got a tap. That took the least amount of time. At the bottom of the radiator, it's just got literally a tap that you spin with a set of pliers. and then took about 10 minutes to drain out, new fluid in. I do have in that toolbox as well, it goes to your radiator cap, and then it has a big funnel with like a pull-up little lock thing in it. So you can get your fluid in, and then if you've put too much, you can just push it down and then take it out, and you don't drop anything. Plus, while it's heating up, it all bubbles through and makes a bit of a mess, so this funnel collects it. Comes with an assortment of radiator caps, plastic ones that you can just screw on. It has a hole and the funnel goes in. Hey Google, turn on the backyard sprinklers.
Sorry, It looks like that device hasn't been set up yet.
It has. Anyway, I'll do that later. It's a Holman Bluetooth thing, and if you don't use it too often, it doesn't like it. But anyway, I can go on the app and it'll work, but it doesn't work through Google all the time. That went really well. And then we came home, went for a test drive. We actually went up. We got a place there that recycles old engine oil. So on the day, I don't have it hanging. I got no old oil or brake fluid hanging around at the moment. It was good. So on the test drive, we went and got rid of everything. It worked out really well. But yeah, that was a big day. So I've never worked on a car myself that much. I've always had my old man here, but he wasn't able to come this time. So lucky I had all that one man brake bleeder and all that. My missus doesn't know what to do. I wasn't going to do it if I didn't have that. I wouldn't have done the brakes with her. I would have just waited until my old man was free. But doesn't matter. We got to try it out and it worked really well. So easy as. And then while we were doing that, I'm using my Quick Jacks. I'll call them Quick Jacks. They're not actual they're exactly Quick Jacks, but they're not called Quick Jacks. They're called something else. Quick Jacks is the brand, but we'll call them Quick Jacks for the sake of this video. It's always leaked, not as bad as it did the other day, but these are all the fittings off it. So we went and I was jacking the car up, and then there was a big puddle underneath where, not here, there was a drip here, so that needs to be fixed. Where this line, so those lines, so one end connects to that machine here, the other end of one of those lines connects to one of the jacks. Where that connection is, there was a big puddle underneath it, and I'd only been using it for 10 seconds to lift the car up. So I've had enough of these pointy, you can see there it's got a point on it, and then that point fits in here. So you're getting fluid flow before you actually make the connection, before it's sealed. That's fine if you're working out on a these are for bobcats and stuff, and a little bit of oil on the dirt, who cares, whatever. But I'm in my garage and there's just, it shouldn't leak. They shouldn't leak. I was expecting a little bit of a leak just as you connect them or disconnect them, and I do get one drop. You can deal with that. That's fine. I always put a rag under it when I do the connections, but it shouldn't leak while you're using it and it's connected. So I'm gonna change all these fittings over. I'm pretty sure if you got high quality, I don't know what these are called. Let's call them V fittings, because they have a V or a point fitting, whatever. I'm pretty sure if you got really high quality point fittings, they would probably be, well, they definitely won't leak while they're connected and you're using them, because these shouldn't. But they probably drip less on the disconnect and connect stage when you're doing it. And I always make sure I've got no pressure in the system. So if you've got pressure in the system, you'd be hard pressed to even disconnect it because there's so much force in the pipe. But if you have a little bit, when you disconnect it, it goes everywhere like tomato sauce. So you got to make sure you got none in there, and you'll get the tiniest little bit of drip. Could deal with that. It was annoying, but I could deal with it. Wouldn't be worth changing all these fittings for that. But because it's leaking, my mate builds trailers and uses this stuff, like big semi-trailers. And I was just been talking to him, and he reckons these fittings, if they're not a high quality fitting, which these aren't, you can tell the metal's not very good. The V doesn't seat properly when it's connected, and it'll let things pass, and the seals are no good. So he's I've actually got onto him this morning. He is going to ask his purchasing officer what they use. I know you can get flat face. I know the flat face ones are a lot better, so they don't have the point. They're just a flat face and they straight in, and I know they're a lot better. So I think that's what we're going to change to. There is a place down the road from me called Couplers. So I will degrease all these fittings. So there's 2 more fittings that I haven't got, so it's going to be 2 like this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go and have a look. They're underneath the Z at the moment. They're connected to the ramp side of things, and the ramps are underneath the Z. So those 4 are for the pipes, and then they're female end, and this is a male end. So the males go here, females go onto them. Then it's a female at the other end of that pipe, and then I'm assuming it's a male on it has to be a male on the ramp end, but I want to go and double check. So I think I'm going to need 4 of these and 4 of them. So pump, ramp, and then pipe. So that's it. So yeah, 4 males, 4 females with this thread. It has to be this particular thread. I don't know what thread it is, but that's why I want to take them there and match them up. I probably only have to take one of them and one of them, and then say I need to end up with 4 of these and 4 of these. I don't need to take all 8 of them, but yeah, all good. Everything has the same thread. I've just tried. So these normally screw to here. I got one of them and I screwed it onto there, and it fits. So it's the same thread everywhere, which makes sense to do that. So yeah, we're all good. But I'm gonna wait till I hear back from my mate, because he gets them from a wholesaler. He might even have some at his work that I can buy off him. Like a set of them. If he doesn't, he mainly deals in bigger things though, he said. He doesn't have these little ones, but he's going to ask the question anyway. Yeah, the guy that he wants to ask is not at work yet, so he's going to ask him when he gets in, about 8 o'clock, so I'll hang around for that. If he tells me to come over, pick him up, then I'll go to his. Otherwise, I'll just go down the road here to Malaga, and I'll go and ask the girls there at Coupler. I say that, I don't know why, I see their ads on our local. They're not always looking for people, but whenever I've seen the ad there for couplers, must be a really good place to work, because they provide lunch for you every day. I've seen it there. For some reason, there's no guys on the front counter. I'm not too sure why. I walked in there the first time I walked in there, and there was I think I did mention this story. I felt really bad, but anyway, she was probably early 20s, big fingernails, all done up to the nines, hair, makeup, looked like like an Instagram model. And I went, oh no, she's not gonna. I'm gonna have to tell her what I want, and then tell someone else what I want. I thought she was just there as not greet you, but just to find out what you want, and then she'll funnel you to the right person. Anyway, and then there wasn't just her, there was 2 or 3 girls like that on the counter. And anyway, it got to my turn. I said what I wanted, and she goes, yeah, no worries, part numbers off the top of her head. She had to ask a question. Another one of these girls came around. I call them girls because they're only like 19, 20 years old. They're very young. And anyway, another one came around. Yeah, part number, off the top of her head. Didn't even look at a computer. And all 3 of them just knew their stuff inside and out. It was unbelievable. Walked straight. They had a big wall of fittings, and she just walked exactly. She didn't even look. She knew exactly the fitting that I needed. Just walked straight up to it. Boom, boom. Didn't even have to look around. She just knew exactly where things were. Yeah, unbelievable. So I've been going every time I need anything like this, I go straight back there, because they know their stuff. They're really good. So yeah, it must be a good place to work. And I've been there. That was probably 2 years ago. I've probably been there 4 times in the last 2 years, and apart from 1 or 2 of the girls that work there, the other 3 or 4 are always there. So yeah, it must be good, because they've been there for 2 years, a few of them. So yeah, not too bad. Good shop. They got everything. They do all hydraulic stuff. They do all fluid transfer, really. Fuel line, AN fittings with the Dash 8, Dash 10 fittings, braided lines if you want for racing cars. They sponsor speedway cars and stuff like that. But hydraulic hoses, any type. Vacuum hoses, any type. That corrugated stuff. I don't have any in here, but the corrugated vacuum stuff, but hardcore. Like 70 mil wide vacuum hose and stuff like that. So yeah, they're right into all that stuff. Even stuff for your pressure washer. I actually bought my pressure washer there once, trying to change it over a few things, and yeah, really helpful. But didn't get. They kind of had what I wanted, but it would have costed more. I was actually trying to change the hose, because I don't like the hose on my gurney, and I was trying to change it over to a more softer maybe this type of hose, like, yeah, even not like a proper air hose like this stuff. Yeah, like that kind of gear. It just gets tangled all the time and it's too stiff for what it is. They said they could do it, but it was a fair bit of work. They would have had to take the pump apart, brace some connections on, and it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't, yeah, I think I did do a video on that actually, taking it all apart. But they taught me out of it because it was going to cost more than buying a pressure washer that would have all that stuff already with a decent hose and stuff like that. So, plus my pressure washer is like 10 years old, so I'm not going to spend that amount of money on a 10-year-old pressure washer and then it poos itself, you know, a year after I've spent all that money on it. So not worth it. I'll put up with it, and then when that does, hey, get out of it. Don't drink that, mate. You can't have that. When that does crap itself, then I'll be getting a decent pressure washer. Doesn't have to be stupid PSI because I'm only washing cars, but something with I think it was an M22 threaded end, so that way I can make my own hose or anything like that kind of stuff. So that would be better rather than these stupid hoses that come with them. But anyway, so yeah, I've got to hang around. My mate hasn't got back to me yet, I don't think. No, it's a bit early, so I don't know if you just heard that car, but it sounds like a Ferrari or a Lambo, something really high revving, flat plane crank. Almost every morning, it might spark up again. Almost every morning, weekday morning, I've been hearing it, and he's absolutely killing it down the main road over here. That's not it. Yeah, I'll pause again if I hear it. But yeah, I'll wait for my mate to get back to me, see what he says. They might even recommend a different fitting that I don't even know about that doesn't leak and is really good for this situation that you're constantly on and off, or, you know, yeah. But if not, I'll go to Couplers, tell them what I've got, what I want. They might suggest something different, but otherwise I think I'm going to end up with the flat face fittings, and we'll go from there. But anyway, I'll get back to you then. Okay, just got back from the shop, so I did a bit of research for about an hour. I was mucking about. So apparently the one that I had, the original, this style of one, they're called Poppet fittings. Poppet, I don't know, whatever they are. So yeah, so there's the 4 of them, plus 4 of these. There's only 2 here, 2 on the ramp. So I ended up getting, so yeah, Poppet with that little bit there, and then these are flat face. If you really want to lose $700 very quickly, go and buy 4 of them. That's all I'm going to say to that. I got the ramp for a good price, so I don't mind upgrading it a bit. One benefit is when you connect these 2 together, you can't just push them. You've got to peel back, push, and then go like that. These ones you can, so they just don't look like they're going to do anything, but you don't have to peel. Well, it doesn't peel back actually. It just like that. It's much easier, and then you can also lock them if you want to. You can spin that, and now this won't come undone. It'll only you got to be careful because this flicks like that. It's got a fair bit of force when you undo it. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. He did. I mean, he told me the price on the phone, but I was doing my research. I rang a few shops. These guys were probably a bit. They weren't the cheapest, but they were the closest to me. You know, so I just went there and got it. I've seen on Amazon you could get them. They look nothing like this. They looked more like that one, like a Chinese made one. These are, I made sure these are made in Italy. And I'm pretty sure it's by Stucci. Stucci-F-FIRG 38 BSP, made in Italy. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that invented the flat face. So hopefully they know what they're doing, because I don't want to go through this again, that's for sure. I'm going to keep the receipt, and yeah, just make sure these work. So we'll take these off. I don't want to damage the thread. I'll get some pliers. But yeah, I was looking online, and when I saw the cheap Chinese ones were 120, 140 a pair. I was like, oh geez, what's what's a good one going to cost? And yeah, we found out. What is it? It was $700 for 4 pairs. Where's the receipt? Oh, he doesn't say. It's not a price per thing. Yeah, it was $637 plus $63 GST, so exactly $780. Yeah, I don't know. Some people it might not be worth it, but I don't want to have oil everywhere. So what did we just take out? This one. So these fittings have to go here. I did say I was going to film. I just remembered about it when I was driving in the car. There was 2 reasons why we didn't film what we filmed. Oh, so it has got, he did say look on the O-ring, and it's got an O-ring there, so there's no need for thread sealant. Cool. I think I've got to do the bottom one first, otherwise you can't tighten it. Yeah, there was 2 reasons why I didn't film what we did to the missus's car yesterday. One, because she was there, she didn't want to be on camera, which is fair enough. And the second reason was I was going to do it and just get her off camera when I was going to do bits and pieces. But from the get-go, this thing was leaking very badly, and my hands were just constantly dirty, so I didn't want to be touching the camera and be all slippery and drop it, and then I would have just really cracked it then. So that's why we chose not to. It didn't miss out on much. It was pretty uneventful. Everything went really well, actually. Not that I was expecting it not to, but there was no hiccups, and yeah, everything went pretty good. Okay, that's tight enough. And then we'll do the same to this one. I'm not going to try this in this video, only because it's a bit of an effort. I've got to move my Z out the way, and all that kind of gear, so I really can't be bothered right now. That's it. There's no need to make it any... The only reason I'm using that, I hate using these, is the biggest spanner I've got's a 22mm and it doesn't fit. Oh, there's a 23, but it's a hose one, whatever you call them. Yeah, 22 is my biggest, but saying that it's a BSB would indicate to me that it's gonna be one of these funny... Oh, there we go. Got it. I'd much rather use that. It's definitely not. No. So, yeah, so it's a 15/16, almost an inch. Yeah, much better to use these, especially if you can get the ring on it. Yeah, much better. Yep, that's tight enough. It's just you can never ever. You're always thinking about your knuckles with those other things. We'll do the pipes. Oh, actually, yeah, we're doing the pipes now. So, yeah, you pull that back. Pull that back. It's hard to know actually which side moves, but that's hose, that's hose, that's hose, and that's hose. So you need 4 for the hoses, and then these 4 for the ramps. And these old ones I will keep in this bag at least until I use them, these new ones. So they'll have to come in the garage. I dare say you probably don't want to drop these. Oh, that's good. That cap actually fits them. That's really good. So we will continue to use the caps. Yeah, because I can imagine if you chip this, I don't think it's going to work as good as it would, as good as it should. Okay, let's go and put these on the... I'll just show you one, putting it on the hose, and then I'll get back to you once I've done them all. Alright. We'll clean it up as best we can. I'm gonna degrease all these hoses before I use them again. The next, I think the Commodore is probably the next thing due for a what's the name, oil change. But even I just drove it and I didn't even see what it was, what it's due for. So we'll put that in there. And then, yeah, everything's just ultra oily. Obviously these caps are no good to us anymore, because there's nothing for these to fit into, so I can probably take these off and they won't get in the way anymore, which is good. You only really need the caps for the other side. I normally disconnect the hoses when I'm not using the ramp anyway, and hang them up. I've got a little spot where I hang them up, and they're not on the floor or anything, so they'll keep pretty good where they are. There we go. We'll keep them. I'll put them in that bag. I could probably, if I was smart about it, I'll probably need too many hands. Oh no, there we go. Cool. So yeah, there's an O-ring built into the washer, and that's what he was talking about, I'm pretty sure. He said if it has that, then no need for sealant. So we'll see. Yeah, much more substantial fitting, that's for sure. Oh, okay, so you definitely have... well, that's not good. So it's a different size. Alright. So we're back to the old trusty. Yep, nip it up. Not quite happy with this one. There we go. It was kind of bottoming out on the washer. That's tight. That just moved the vise. Okay. I'm not going to undo it. I'm just going to cut that off. I probably should have taken that off before we got to that stage. Anyway. Yeah, and if you don't let them drop on the ground, that's for sure. Wonder if we can stretch it. We'll see how stretchy it is. It's got a bit of give in it. If it breaks, it breaks. I don't really care. You can buy these for nothing. There we go. And also the sub in the Z is going really well. I've found myself not even, probably for the first 2 hours, I was mucking around. Just every time a kind of different song came on, I'd muck around with that little controller, the remote, to adjust the bass and the bass boost, low pass filter, gain, things like that. But I found myself, I'm not even really playing with it much anymore. So I've kind of just bundled it up, and I've put it in behind the passenger seat. And if I go for we've actually got a cruise coming up with the Nissan Z Club on the 3rd of March. So that should be good fun. And that's going to be probably about a 2-hour drive, I'd say. I think my missus is coming as well. I think she said she wanted to come. So yeah, she'll come, and then that'll be a good test of 2 people in the car with tunes playing and 2 people talking in the car, and then that's kind of the volume that I'll have it at. And if I don't play with the controller after that drive, I think I'll rip the boot apart again. Well, not rip it apart, but take the I'll take the floor out again, and yeah, I'll take the floor out again, and I'll fix up all that wiring. I did explain that I didn't put any of that wiring in a harness at all. I just wanted to make sure there was not going to be any noise introduced through the speakers, because otherwise I'd have to play with where the signal wires go compared to where the power wire is. So yeah, and it's been fine, been absolutely fine. You can't hear anything, so it's fine the way it is. So pretty much just take it apart, put it all in a loom, just to make it look nice, and then also get that controller and just put that in the boot somewhere, just hide it somewhere in the boot. We really don't need to play with that anymore, which is good. It's good that it's not on the amp, which is where the sub is, so at least you can play with it while you're driving. It works really well, because most amps you've got to, you'll set it up when you install the amp and it'll sound good, but then when you're driving, you've got to get out, go to the boot, play with it. Whereas this one, you can do it while you're driving, so makes it a bit easier to set up. You can set it up in a shorter amount of time, that's for sure. Okay, so put that loosely there. There. Whoa. There. You want to make sure everything's flat, I suppose. And that's it. And then I've only got the 2, so we'll call these female ends. I think these are the female ends. I've only got the 2 male ends. Yeah, don't drop them. I kind of caught it halfway down. Didn't actually hit the floor too bad. It rolled. Geez, it's warm today. It's really humid, and there's a fire up north. I just heard. Well, I came outside and it was all smoky, and then they're talking about it on the radio. So yeah, it's just making it even worse. So this is about me for today. I'm gonna go inside after this. It's just too hot to be outside. There we go. And I might actually go. I might actually go and do those ones that are on the ramp. Oh, wow, that's tight. Okay, that's really good. Hopefully not too tight. Just so I know I've got the right fittings and they fit. They will be. I'm pretty sure they're not going to use a different fitting just for 2 more fittings. So, and I might even degrease these, just spray them down. And that's it. We'll chuck these out. We'll keep these red things. We'll keep these in here. I don't like chucking things out until I know for sure. The next job probably for these lifts I could do kind of whenever, is do brake fluid. Now I know how that thing works that I used, the one-man brake bleeding system thing. That works really well. So yeah, I could probably do the Nissan, because that fluid's coming up to a year old. In March, in another month, it'll be a year old. Not that it needs changing, but I've got brake lines. I've got braided stainless steel brake lines for it, all 4 corners. So I want to change that. We're going on a track day with it in April, so I want to put some decent brake fluid in by then. So that'll be probably the next job that this hoist gets used for. The only thing is, I just sat a couple of days ago, I put my helmet on and sat in my car, and I can't fit in the car wearing my helmet. My head is almost touching the roof as it is. It doesn't touch it at all without a helmet, but with the helmet I've got to sit like this, and I'm kind of looking over my glasses outside the windscreen. So it's not ideal, but what I'm going to do is try and either lift this back, so the seat is all the way back, the back of the seat is laying down a bit, and that's why I'm touching the bit there, because if I come forward a bit, the roof actually humps up a bit. So I didn't try that. I was in a bit of a rush, and I just sat in there, said, nah, doesn't fit, so I can't go. But anyway, so yeah, I think I'll just push it forward a bit. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable for me because I'm sitting upright, but I'll see if that works. But I want to do the brake lines anyway. That'll be a good little upgrade. And that is it. Let's go and give these a shot, because I'm going to have to rebleed. I'm going to have to rebleed this whole system again now. So it's pretty much take that off. Oh, it's a lot heavier too. Those connections are a lot heavier than those other ones. Let's just put that on that. Yeah. It's a lot easier because you don't have to be holding it from here. You can hold it from back here and just shoot it up. Yeah, and then it springs out nice. So that's cool. I like that. And yeah, we'll keep them for protection. And yeah, I'm going to go and put these on now. I won't film it because it's pretty dark in the garage. But I'm going to go put these on to make sure that they actually... well, I know they fit here, but I'm just wondering if they've used, for some stupid reason, a different, not a 3/8 BSP fitting for the ramp side. But so I definitely want to go and do that, just in case I can go back today and they'll remember me and I can get the correct fitting. But yeah, I don't want to leave it until I next use it in a month or two and then go back there and then they're going to say, well, you've had them for a month. So yeah, I can understand that. But anyway, we'll leave it there. I hope that is going to fix the problem. It should do. Being that I probably could have got the same fittings, but quality non-made in China fittings, and I probably would have been okay. But they will leak. Those poppet style fittings are always going to leak. You'll lose. I think the guy was saying they're rated at like a teaspoon at every disconnection of lost oil, which is fine. I might use them 3 times a year, 3 or 4 times a year. This thing, so you know you can handle that. These are rated to 0.1 of a teaspoon or 0.15 of a teaspoon of fluid loss every disconnect. So much better for that. And also they don't leak. This was leaking while I was jacking the car up after all the connections were made. It was still had a puddle like that. There was probably underneath this bottom one was leaking, so it had a puddle like that. And then one of these ones was leaking, and there was a puddle kind of like that under it. So it's just a waste. It's well, I know $700 on fittings is also a waste, but yeah, it's just a mess. I mean, this thing made more mess than the car made, and we did oil filter, coolant, gearbox oil, brake fluid, you know, and this thing made more mess than doing all that on the car. It was doing my head in yesterday, so cracked it, and here it is, the upgrade. So this is really what it should have come with from factory, but it would increase the price by the time they put their margin on the fittings, $1,000, and then no one will buy it. So I can understand why the QuickJack branded ones come with these factory, and that's why they do cost $4,000. This was only $2,200, so I'm still in front. So I'm up to about $3,000 now, even with the good fittings. So we should be right now. These are simple. These are, you know, it's just an electric motor with a pump and a reservoir. What could go wrong? And it's all replaceable parts anyway. The hoses are good enough. Plus I've put extra protection, so we're good there. And now the fittings are good. So touch wood. I won't comment just yet, but these are going to be good quality, being that they are quality manufactured items. So yeah, good upgrade. But anyway, I'll go and put these two on the ramp side purely just to make sure they fit, and that is it. I think. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because obviously I can't put them into a vise. I'm going to need some spanners, I think, and just reef down on them with two spanners. But we'll get through. All good. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one, and I'll let you know how this goes. I'm probably going to make a video when we do the brake fluid and brake lines on the Nissan. So that's probably the next time this is going to get used. So it'll be we'll have to bleed it, which entails flipping the ramps upside down and using them upside down a few times, and you can hear the air rushing back into here. And then once all that, because then now these hoses are empty, the hoses have air in them, because I've had to take fittings off and they've all leaked out everywhere. I was thinking about it in the car. I probably could have taken one side off at a time and replaced them, and then put the new one on, and then flip it over and do the other side, and it will have a bit of air, but not. I wouldn't have lost too much oil. But saying that, it really didn't lose. It really didn't lose a lot of oil. I was expecting that to be not full, but I thought there might be a litre or two of oil in there. That's not even. I just checked the dipstick, and the dipstick is still saying that there's plenty of oil in there. So that's not an issue. So yeah, we'll re-bleed them and then check again. I've bought another litre of oil last time, because every time I use it, this thing is losing about 100 to 200 mils of oil. So I thought I'd better go and buy a litre, because sooner or later this is going to need a top up, and it's going to need a top up right when I need to use it, and then I've got to run out to get oil. So I thought I'd better go and get oil. But yeah, now it's not going to leak. So I'll use my litre to top this up, and I'd say that's going to be it for a while, until it needs a fluid change. The amount of times I use it, I'll probably change it every 5 years. I'd say it'll be a time rather than use thing for hydraulic oil, but it's really not going to need fluid changes too often, especially if you keep the crap out of it. If you keep that closed and it's all clean all the time, yeah, it's not going to need a fluid change. I'll have to do some research in that. I have no clue how often you should be doing oil changes on this thing, but I can't imagine it's going to be a once a year thing. If you use it every day, then probably yes, but 4 times a year, I think 5 to 10 years, I think you could expect to get out of your oil there, unless there's a reason to change the oil, even if it's just sitting and not being used, not being compressed. Yeah, but anyway, all right, I'm definitely going now. We'll see you in the next one.